Hi, friends. I hope you are doing well. I want to talk to you about my reading year. So, my reading year has been kind of, I feel like, flat. And because I was feeling like that, I decided to go on Storygraph and see kind of what my statistics are for star ratings, how long it's taking me to finish books, which that stat in itself, I think, is probably a misrepresentation, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. But I don't feel like I'm getting many five-star books. And so I was really wondering, do I even know what I like? Am I reading the wrong books? What books am I reading? Where is it at? And am I enjoying what I'm reading? So I am going to look at Storygraph, have my computer over here. I will also put the graphics up. So today is August 20 something, 23rd. And I'm just looking at overall, I've read 55 books for the year, which is down a little bit for me, but I had the move and didn't read for like a month. I've read 16,888 pages. The average time to finish is 4 days. And the reason why I think that is a misrepresentation is because that's based on when I log it. And I don't always go back and change the dates. There's really not. I really don't change the dates unless there's a specific time frame I'm looking at and I want to put more accurate dates in. But again, it's probably not correct. The moods are kind of all over the place. And I think my most read is emotional, followed by reflective, dark, and mysterious. And that is what I would normally describe the kind of books that I like. So I don't know. I've read a very small amount of funny, adventurous, hopeful. My next category of most read is sad. So does that say something about me? Yeah, so I don't know that my moods are really impacting my reading either. For pace, over 50% are kind of medium paced books, which is pretty much what I like. I'll occasionally want a fast paced read if I'm slumpy. Rarely do I want a slow read, but some of the things that I do read tend to have a slower pace to them. Page number, I usually come in around 300 to 500 pages. I don't read a lot of big books, even though I have a lot of big books on my shelves. So yeah, that's a thing. And then this is pretty typical. I haven't been reading as much nonfiction as I have in the past, and this is my first full year. Should have said this in the beginning. First full year of using Storygraph, so I have nothing to compare it to really. Previous years, I used it a little bit, but didn't put all of my reading in. So about 75% of my reading is fiction reading. I would think I would be more 50-50, or I know I'm not this year, but as far as how many books I have, I definitely have 50-50, or maybe even more nonfiction. So that may need to change if I want to read the books I own. Genres, the top genres are contemporary, literary, thriller, middle grade, historical, mystery. Yeah, that's pretty much right on. My highest for nonfiction, I guess, is memoir and biography, which again is, yeah, pretty much what I would expect it to be. History is also up there. And that may be skewed because I did judge the booktube prize in the first round, And I did nonfiction, and there were, I think most of the books that I read, maybe all but one, would be considered history. Format, uh, yeah, I mean, I do prefer print. Um, Audio, digital. I don't usually do digital. I did maybe one digital book so far this year. And the thing with print and audio, the way that it is on Storygraph, is if I have the print book and read some of the print book, I mark it as print. So I have listened to more audiobooks, but they're typically books that I have in print that I'm kind of going back and forth depending on where I'm at. For most read authors, I've read 2 S.A. Cosby books and 2 Jamie Sumner books. Jamie Sumner is becoming a favorite middle grade author for me, and I'd really like to read her to zero. S.A. Cosby, I do really like his writing, but didn't enjoy the last book I read, King of Ashes. It was just a little bit too much violence for me. But I've really liked his other books. So I don't know. I mean, I think I will probably still read his books, but I may wait to hear some of the reviews before I do. And here we get to the bigger deal for me, and the ratings. So one thing I know about myself, I'm pretty good at DNFing books. I don't like continuing to read books that I'm not enjoying. So I rarely give 1 star. 2-star, what was my 2-star book? Let's see. Oh, my 2-star book was my first and only, Ellie Silver, Wild Love. I just didn't like it. Didn't like the story. Didn't. It was not realistic. It was corny. It was cheesy. It was, yeah. I just didn't like that book. Um, I have given 19 3 stars, and that's kind of where I think my most, I mean, based on statistics, it's my most given rating. And thinking about my reading, it's kind of, do I want to be in the 3-star range? I would prefer to be in the 4 to 5-star range. My average rating over the year is 3.8, and that to me is kind of low. I gave, let's see, 14 4 stars so far and 12 5 stars. Now, I went and looked at the books that I've given 5 stars to, and 3 are adult books, 6 are middle grade, and the rest are nonfiction. So I thought about that because middle grade's not my most read genre. Contemporary is. So with middle grade being the most 5 stars I've had so far, it makes me kind of think, are my expectations different for those books? Am I expecting too much from adult books? So I've kind of come up with a little project for myself, and I want to, over the next 4 months, we've got 4 months left of the year, kind of see if I can increase the number of 5-star books that I have. And so I've come up with a list to kind of give me some structure to how to pick the books. These are just some ideas of how I could potentially increase my odds of getting a 4 to 5-star book. Really going for 5 stars, but again, I'm a realist, so we're gonna just go with that. There's no hard and fast rules for this. And the main rule, but it doesn't have to stay this, is that I want to read what I own, because that is, a continued goal for myself. So I have a couple ideas on how I want to choose my TBRs for each of the vlogs. One way to increase my odds is to go on Storygraph and GoodReads, which I use both, and pick from the highest rated books that I own that are highly rated. I'm pretty much looking at the 4-star and above on the average rating. I kind of looked at books that had over 1,000 ratings, just, I don't know, have more chance. So I'm going to look at that. I'm also going to look at 5 stars, or friends have given 5 stars to the book. So that's mainly on GoodReads because most of my connections are on GoodReads. So I'll look at who has read the book and who has given 5 stars to it. And I already have some thoughts on that one. And then I'm also just going to do a strictly mood reading. Am I a mood reader? I find that I am more of a mood reader. However, when I say I'm going to mood read, then I have a hard time deciding what mood I'm in, what kind of book. So I don't know. Those are just some thoughts. The first vlog that I'm going to start working on is actually going to be I'm going to read books from authors that I've previously given 5 stars to. Seems like I'll at least hopefully get along with the writing style since I've previously given them 5 stars. So looking at my shelves, I had a couple of options. I had more than a handful of options. And I've decided to go with kind of 3 of my main genres. Well, 2 main genres and 1 genre that I feel like I'm sort of trying to get more into. Yeah, let's talk about them. So I have previously read Janice Hallett. I've given 5 stars to The Appeal and The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels. And so I'm going to read The Twyford Code. This is about a children's book author leaves a copy with some notes in it, and then a teacher goes missing on a field trip, and some guy is trying to figure out what happened. So I really like the mixed media form that Janice Hallett writes in. So I have pretty high hopes for this one. But I also know some friends who have not liked this, but have liked the other ones. So we'll see. So I've previously given Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward a 5 star. This is her Let Us Descend is her most recent book, and it's stuck with me. It's still with me. Still think about it a lot. It's a hard read, but it's a good read. It's historical and also a little magical realism, but really hard-hitting, contemporary. And then after I read that, I went on a little buying spree of buying her other works because that's how impactful that book was to me. So I'm going to go back and read Jesmyn Ward's debut. Might be a little risky since it's her debut and I gave 5 stars to her most recent book. However, this one has pretty high ratings too, and that is Where the Line Bleeds. This book is about some twin boys that are raised by their grandmother in Mississippi's Gulf Coast. And then over a summer, they're struggling to find work and contend with the reappearance of their parents. They are forced into a series of decisions that will ultimately damn or save them both. So it's about brotherly love, and Jesmyn Ward's writing is wonderful. I really enjoy it. So this last one is a bit risky, but I'm going to go for it. I have tried to find my place with romance, and I was looking back over, and that I should say that I'm really looking for light reads, and especially with reading Jesmyn Ward, I really want to make sure there's enough variety in this stack of books that I'm going to read for a vlog. And I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. It was the first Emily Henry book I read. I read it for a book club and loved it, gave it 5 stars. So I'm going to read People We Meet on Vacation. This is about Alex and Poppy. They have nothing in common. Ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they are the very best of friends. She's in New York. He's in their small hometown. But every summer for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together. Until 2 years ago when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. And then Poppy wants to take a final trip with Alex. So I don't know. I call this risky because, one, I don't know what I like in romance, and maybe Beach Read was just a fluke for me, a good fluke. I've heard people say that they loved Beach Read but didn't love this. So I don't know, but we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. So these are the three books that I'm going to be reading. And the vlog will be coming up in September. If you would like to follow my journey. Am I setting myself up for more bad reads? I don't know. But if you'd like to follow along for my reading journey to find more books I love, please hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments if you have suggestions on books that you think might be 5 stars for me. I know I can't feel like I can pin down my reading tastes anymore. I don't know why that is, but maybe you, the outside observer, can give me some insight. What do you think with my reading? I don't know. I mean, I have a few that I'm currently reading that could potentially be 5 stars. But again, it would only be 1 or 2 more through August. So yeah, I want to see if I can get some more through the end of the year and feel better about my reading life. I do enjoy reading, but once I start a book and it just isn't working for me, I DNF it. Or if it's a book I need to read for book club, I'll just keep reading and not enjoying it, and then it takes me longer to get through it. You know the saga. So yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts on the subject, how you feel like your reading's going this year. Let me know what was your last 5 star, because if I own it, I might add it to a vlog coming up. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all are doing well and really enjoying your reading, and I will see you very soon. Bye.